Hi, welcome back to Latin Guitar Mastery. In today's lesson, we're going to look at a way to improvise over jazz chords using chord tones. Chord tones, or otherwise known as arpeggios, are the notes within the particular chord. So with jazz and Latin jazz harmony, it could be 3 notes, it could be 4 or 5 notes, depending on the type of chord and the extension of the chord. So we're going to go through the chords of Manha De Carneval, Black Orpheus, the first section, and play through different chord tones just to show you the different possibilities that you can do in terms of improvising using just those notes. Of course, on guitar, voicings can be tricky, and because there's no one way to play things. You can play an A minor here, here, here. When I'm improvising, whether I'm using scales, chord tones, or melodic ideas, I'm always thinking around the harmony that I'm playing, which is generally the chords that I'm playing. And I do that with classical pieces and Spanish pieces as well. It gives you a sort of sense of where you are in the piece, and also can direct you towards how you should play it, because, you know, obviously there's some chords that are more mellow and other chords that are tense. There's a sort of a resolution that can take place sometimes that you need to bring out. So let's go from the start of this piece, and we're going to play through the chord tones, and I'll tell you what the chord is first, and then we'll just work through the actual notes. So we start with an A minor, and we're going to play the A minor chord tones here: 7, 5, 5, 5. I'm just going to use the names of the notes: A, C, E, A. Those are the notes in A minor. Then B minor 7 flat 5. We're going to play B, D, F, A, which are the chord tones in that chord. Then we're going to play E7 backwards: G sharp, E, B, G sharp, E, D, B. Those are the notes in E7. And then go back to first position: A, C, E, G, with the G being the minor 7. For the second B minor 7 flat 5, we're going to go down to the B note here. That's our B minor 7 flat 5 chord tones, and then E7. Okay, so I've chosen to do this kind of up and down sort of approach. If we play it all together, it'll sound like this. And then we're going to go. It sounds quite pretty, it's quite nice, almost sounds like Bach. Well, if you play Bach's music, you'll hear a lot of that sort of thing happening, and he's a master at that. Almost like a jazz musician of the time, even though it wasn't called jazz. It's called Baroque. Okay, we're up to bar 5. We're back to A minor, but this time we're going to play it C, A, G, E. There's another place to play chord tones. And I like this. We're going to play D minor 7 now in 5th position, with the C being the 7th. And then we're going to play the G7 here, G7. Okay. Notice it's the same shape, just moved up. Then the C major 7, I think we're going to go a bit of a stretchy sort of version, and that's our, lots of C, E, G, B. Then our A7, we're going to start on the C sharp, so we're going to go C sharp, E, G, B flat. The B flat's a flat 9, so it's an A7 flat 9. And then complete the A7. We're going to play it up there. Back to our D minor 7. Those are our notes in D minor 7. G7, we're going to play it here. Just a different pattern. And then I like this C major 7 pattern. That's sort of based on that C major 7 shape. Then our F major 7. Then back to B minor 7 flat 5. Our C, E7 again. And then we've got A minor, G, A minor, and it has a G bass. So it's got, but we still play the chord tones. Alright, so we're going to try and play through all of that kind of in time and see how it sounds. 2, 3, 4. see that if you could practice chord tones in that way, and literally that's all notes within the chords that we're playing, so it all sounds very nice. And if you're improvising, you're not going to just play nice notes. You want to play other notes that provide more tension, and using scales alongside of that will help. And I think in the next improvisation lesson, we'll look at what chords you might be using, what scales you might be using over different chord patterns. For example, we start off with a 1, 2, 5 progression, and then you can sort of work out what scale you might use over that. Or you might look at an individual chord and work out what you might play over that. But as a starting point, to really familiarize yourself with the harmony and whereabouts on the guitar you are, then definitely chord tones is a good place to start. So I've created a backing track on my blog. So if you're an LGM member, you get a chance to practice along with the backing track there. And I've also provided the sheet music that you can try and play along with, and use it as a sort of a basis for the chord tones in that tonality. So I hope that makes sense. You know, it's kind of getting towards the theory end of things. It can take a little while for the penny to drop and understand, but I think this concept's pretty simple, but not that easy to put under the fingers. So you're going to have to take some time to work through familiarizing yourself with where you can play things. And I think that's the hard work. Where is that chord? You know, is it there? You know, sort of understanding where are all those chord tones happening. And then once you know that, it's really powerful. If you've got any more questions, if you have any questions about chord tones or improvising over this chord progression, please leave a comment below. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next week.